What do you think, Tyson? The question we're going to ask ourselves, do we need a mentor or not? We'll just have to see. Hey everybody, I just wanted to go over a video that I've had a number of people ask me questions about because I mentioned it. I do coaching with people, mentoring. Yes, it is a professional service. Yes, it is something that you have to pay for. And personally, you know, there's that question, people go back and forth and everything, and oh man, you need to put out content and it's free for the universe and you can have it, and you know, you shouldn't charge for it and everything like that, you know, and and then some people are like, well, you know, you put all this time and effort into it, you should get paid for it, yada, yada, yada. And, you know, so it goes boop, 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 flip-flops back and forth like a ping pong table. And you really got to ask yourself, do I need a mentor or not? Okay? And I will say this. Before in the past, I have mentored people for free, and it ended up being a miserable experience. I put in a lot more time and effort than they did, and I found out that they have absolutely nothing at stake. But when they actually have something on the line, well, then they kind of tend to take care of it a little bit more. Generally speaking, it's kind of like that person that you give a free car to. There's a better chance of them running it into the ground than there is of them taking care. However, if they get out there and have to come up with the down payment themselves, and then they're probably a little bit more likely to do those oil changes on the scheduled interval to keep the car nice and running as long as possible. Why? So they don't have to buy another one and spend any more money. So we're going to go over a couple of reasons why it might be beneficial. Okay? For me personally, and yes, I do have a coach. Okay? For me personally, in my life, generally speaking, there's been very few times that I've had any type of internal growth, okay, unless something painful behind it was motivating it. And the reason why is that when we get in pain, we want to get out of there. It's kind of like you put your hand on the stove, you know, and you want to take it off. Why? Because it's smoking your hand. It's sizzling it, okay? So it's painful. So we want to pull our hand off as quick as possible. You will hear me always preach, and I did not come up with this originally. I hijacked 98% of what you hear in my videos. We do one or two things. We're either seeking pleasure or we're trying to avoid pain, okay? So if your hand is on the stove and it is burning red hot, you smell flesh, guess what? Chances are you're going to try to avoid pain, so you'll pull your hand back, okay? So having to do with a mentor, the thing about it is, unless we get basically a gift from God, okay, or somebody comes along and dumps a bunch of stuff in there and everything like that, what we know is it, okay? And you can get a lot from YouTube, okay? You really can. You can get a lot from reading books. I got about 5 of them on this desk right here, okay? You can get a tremendous amount from those things, all right? The one thing about having a coach is that you've got if you get a good one, okay, what they're going to do is they're going to zoom and hone in on where your character imperfections are at and the things that make you come up short of being successful, okay? And what I mean by that is that like a lot of the people that I engage with, they are extremely apprehensive of being on film or putting their picture out there, okay? And folks, you got social media and you're not using it, you are almost guaranteed doomed for failure, okay? I'm not saying that you can't make it without it, okay? But if one person starts in a business without it and the other person starts a business and uses it, I'd say 1,000 or 9,999 times out of 10,000, the person that uses social media, their business is going to start climbing a whole lot quicker than the person that doesn't. Okay, so that's just one of those things, and then we have to figure out why it is that person's apprehensive about it. Okay, because if there's not an emotional payoff for you getting on film, then chances are we're not going to do it. And that goes with anything. Okay, I can tell you this much: selling roofs. Okay, there's nothing fun about buying a roof. There's nothing hot about it. It don't look good in thigh-high boots. You can't crank it up and kickstart it and go blah, 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 and it's not like you're going to go through all four gears and smoking the tires. You're not going to put it in the bayou. There's nothing fun about a roof. Okay, now here's the thing though is that if I come over and there's a monsoon going and you got 25-gallon buckets on the floor catching the water as it comes through the ceiling, guess what? You're going to sign that contract immediately. Why? Because you want to avoid the pain, okay? But once it's a day like it is today, try selling a roof today. It's virtually impossible. It's gorgeous outside, okay? That's the whole thing is that there is emotions behind the decisions that we make. And a good coach is going to pick up on those and figure out, okay, what is it that we need to start doing differently? Why is it that this person reacts to this? All right. So that's one reason right there, because we are creatures of habit. You got to admit, okay? The second thing is, if that person is in a position that you will trade places with and you want to be where they're at, boom, if he's 10 years ahead of you with his business and you're going to do it, then, all of a sudden you're getting 10 years worth of knowledge and experience, okay, without having to go through 10 years. The thing about it is that, again, it is extremely tough to start a business from scratch and then build it up, okay? You can take shortcuts. A mentor, a coach, they're just a shortcut, okay? And the reason that I highly suggest using a professional, and that's one that, and when I mean that, a professional is somebody that you pay, is they're more apt to put into things like, when I talk with my people, it's a 45-minute phone conversation once a week, but we have correspondence through email and text throughout the week. The thing about it is that I've got a couple hours that I put into that one phone call conversation, okay? I keep notes from the previous session and the previous session, okay? And when we make a commitment and somebody comes on board with me, it's for 10 weeks because I really can't do anything but 2 to 3 weeks and really get to know a person, okay? So the thing is that if somebody's going to take you on and they say, well, hey, yeah, we can do 2-3 weeks or something like that. I would just say beware, because the chance of you starting a habit and creating a pattern that's going to bring more success to your life in just a couple of weeks, it'll be a good start, but I don't think it's going to be very fulfilling, and I don't think it's going to be something that's lasting, okay? The other thing is, most of the time, the people that you would get to be a coach are going to know other people that can help you out on your endeavor, okay? And I'm not saying that you need to get a coach just so you can get those relationships, okay? But it certainly will not hurt to do that. The thing about it is that when somebody's been in the business for a long period of time, okay, there's a real good chance that they've met a lot of people along the way, okay? And it's just the same as, you really don't want somebody that is going to do open heart surgery on you that has only watched the videos and been in a classroom, okay? I'm thinking that you would probably feel a whole lot more comfortable, safer, more confident that this is going to be a successful surgery if that person's actually been an intern and spent some time in an operating room behind some very skilled surgeons that are the best in their field. Why? Because those people are a mentor or a coach to that person, okay? Now, again, you might be able to do it without those things, without practicing and without being an intern. You might see a couple YouTube videos and you'll be able to do open heart surgery. I don't know, but I just know that when somebody tells me and says, hey, have you ever done this before? And they say, no, I haven't, then it's like, okay, well, we're going to have a big learning curve, okay? as opposed to somebody's, hey man, I've been doing this for 20 years and everything like that. You know, there's a lot more possibility. There's a greater chance of us having success and having success much sooner. So the thing about it is that, I talked to a guy earlier today. This guy's really cool. He's young. He's like 25, 26 years old, okay? He wholesales real estate, all right? This is what he did. He found an out-of-state buyer while being out of state to buy a house that I had, okay? And we all went to closing, and the deal went off. He got paid. I got paid. The buyer's happy, okay? And so the thing is that I was talking with him this morning. He was like, hey, man, I've been watching some of your videos and everything, and I just got a coach. And I was like, well, cool, man. What are you going to be doing and everything? And he said, this is to step up my real estate game and everything like that. And I was like, far out, man. I'm glad and I'm happy for you and everything. He said, yeah, I'm just kind of in a slump and everything. And he's looking for that extra accountability. It's a whole different ballgame when you know somebody's going to be asking you. And if you got somebody that's not going to ask those questions directly saying, hey, why didn't you do this? We agreed that you're going to do 5 videos each day, 5 pictures, advertising your business. You're not doing them. Why is that? Okay? Because your actions, if you can just imagine, the whole world is covered in $100 bills. It's your job to bend down and pick those up. As you're walking down the street, there's $100 bills, okay? There might have been a $100 bill that belonged to you in your neighbor's pocket, but you never opened your mouth and kept on walking, and so you never got it, okay? And if you don't have somebody that's encouraging you to do that, and your mind does not do it like that, then you're missing a boat. And I don't know when it is that you're going to make that pivot, okay, to start looking at things like that, because that's truly how it is. There's so much money in this world, it's unbelievable, and you have no idea how much there truly is, okay? It's like, how many gallons of water do we have in the world? It's virtually impossible to know exactly, okay? There's that much money. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want a piece of that? That's your job to figure that out, and I'm willing to bet that it would be a whole lot easier, okay, if you were to get a coach or a mentor to help speed that process up, okay? I'm not saying that you can't do it on your own. That is not what I'm saying, okay? But those are 3 tips that I have found very beneficial that have applied in my life, and so that's why I'm giving you those. Be productive, be profitable, have a great day.